You're listening to the Beer Craft Beer and Brewing Podcast. Tune in every Wednesday night at 6:30 Pacific for a dose of beer and brewing banter with your hosts, Ben Holm and Andrew Ziegler.
So hop aboard for some wit and wisdom in the Pacific Northwest, because it's always beer 30 on
The Beer Craft. Crisp, cold, and unexpectedly unrehearsed. Welcome back to the Beer Craft Beer and Brewing Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Andrew. And this episode, we're flying blind. Neither of us had peeked at these 20 homebrew questions we're about to ask each other.
That's right. We're reacting in real time, so you're going to hear our genuine surprise, confusion, and excitement for each question that hits the table.
Some will be basic, and some will be bizarre, and we have no idea which one it is until we have all of them read aloud.
So this is an off-the-cuff format. Promises fresh banter, maybe a few missteps, but hey, that's part of the fun, right?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Before we crack it open and stack up these sealed envelopes, let's kick it off the show with the usual way. You know what we need.
Yeah, this show never really starts without Beer 30. Oh, man. Andrew, how the hell are you today?
Oh, hell yeah. We're doing really good, Ben.
That's awesome.
How about yourself?
Good. Hey, I met a buddy of yours. Dean came into this shop.
Oh, Dean.
Friends with Scott next door.
Oh, I know Dean, yes.
Yeah. So he was, he's been borrowing Scott's kegerator for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a wedding this weekend.
Oh, shit. So I wish he would have got a hold of me a few months ago. We could have made some beer.
Yeah,
Has he been making beer?
He bought some beer. He's got 3 kegs. So he was upgrading Scott's setup to accept 3 Sankey.
Yeah.
And I pimped it out so he can switch back, so Scott can switch back and forth between commercial and homebrew stuff.
Like, was he gonna get some five?
He got 3
Sixers or something.
3 half-barrel kegs. So
3 half-barrel kegs.
They've got, so what is it, 168 pours a keg, so 150
in
people.
One keg.
Yeah. So yeah, then he rented the jockey box, so got him all squared away for for the weekend.
That's a big kegerator.
It's a big, but they rented rented a whole bar top. And they've got somebody from Maxdale's going to be doing all the pouring.
Shoot. They might have one of the big
it was
kegerator rentals.
It was
with the
well,
port
they didn't
top.
rent the kegerator. They just rented the bar
You
top.
said it was Scott's, right?
So Scott's kegerator pack, like his gas manifold and draft hardware. So set them all up with stuff for the weekend. He says hello. He was like, "Man, do you know Andrew?" I'm like, "I know a couple Andrews." You talking about a car guy, Andrew, or
he's
the
beer guy?
And he was like, "He went to Mexico for a bit." I'm like, "Ziegler? That's the guy. That's the guy. Yeah. He's neighbors with my good friend Scott from high school." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know Ziegler. In fact, I'll be seeing him tonight on the podcast." So
right on.
So hello, Dean, if you're out there.
Dean, how's it going?
Yeah. So it was pretty good. We had a beer class today, so another Beer 101. So taught the gospel to Amy and Garrett and got them on the way. They brewed up the Mountain Cream Ale and the Red Tide Irish Red in class today. So
cool.
It was a good class. Only 2 people. It was very fun. I kept him chuckling for 4 hours. Jeez.
Oh, you can talk. You know it.
I know how to do that. Yeah. It's shutting me up. That's the problem.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I know. You can't even stop talking right now enough to get a little bit of libation.
The beer. Oh my God! It's like
mouths.
2 minutes in, and we have nothing in the glass.
I know.
What the shit is that?
I'm like gripping my glass, like I'm gonna fall off the cliff.
All right. Well, hydration time. Let's do that. So I brought 2 ciders in because it's cider season.
It is.
Yeah. That came on a little bit early. I've got a strawberry rhubarb and a cherry spice. Which would you like to start
let's
with?
go. Strawberry
rhubarb. I had hoped you said that because that one makes me the most thirsty.
I think that's the more subtle one.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how much rhubarb we put in there.
Yeah, you never know what the spice
this one comes to us from
has a little bit
Greg
of a,
Steiner. So
a little bit of a wispy.
Well, it's saying hello,
and it's starting to effervesce.
Oh, it's got a nice kind of pink ruby kind of hue to it. I expect that from a strawberry.
Pretty beautiful.
It's pretty. Good job, Greg.
Beautiful.
So Greg Steiner's nice stuff. We just got to give him some notes here. I'll send him the link to the show.
Very little sediment. I'll take it in the bottom.
Oh, that's
no big deal.
That's nice. Nice clarity. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, smell test. Oh, I get the strawberry right off the bat.
Yeah,
so
I like the
points
strawberry.
for that. You get points for that.
Oh, I like it. I don't know what rhubarb really smells like.
Smells like rhubarb.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, what does rhubarb smell like, or what does rhubarb taste like? Rhubarb.
Right.
I think rhubarb is kind of a bitter.
It is,
bitter,
yeah, very acidic, sour kind of flavor profile. I'm not getting a ton of the rhubarb. The strawberry is very present, and I'm a little bit surprised by that. Rhubarb is pretty strong flavor.
See, I get the rhubarb on my tongue.
Do you?
Yeah.
Kind of like the
little bitter,
astringent kind of like.
Yep, that
rhubarbiness.
holds that sweetness down, and I like that. I don't like it to be sweet.
I prefer dry over sweet every day. This fits the bill. This is quite refreshing. I am enjoying that, and I'm not the biggest cider fan. I've been on record, I'm sure, but I have to change my tune a little bit. Now there's some really good ciders out there.
Now, what's the base? What's the base used in this? I mean, a cider. I'm gonna put a cider at about a 5 to 7 week ferment.
Mine are
So
10 to 13 days typically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about acetaldehyde.
I'm gonna
package it young.
What yeast are you using?
I've used Y yeast 4766. That one's fantastic. Nottingham is a favorite. Cote de Blanc from Red Star Yeast is a favorite. D47 from Lallemand also makes an excellent cider.
D47's okay.
Safale SO5. I've used SO4.
FO5.
Yeah.
FO5. SO5.
My least
SO4
favorite.
Is all right. Those are beer. They're beer
yeast. Yeah, absolutely.
Beer yeast.
Well, the original ciders probably were an ale yeast.
I like a champagne yeast. When I'm making a cider, when I'm making a sparkly cider, I'll use a champagne EC 1118.
Yeah,
that's my go-to.
That's my least favorite one. It's the one that gets all the press.
That's what my go-to is because it's clean, it's dry, it ferments out, and it's great.
It has a huge temperature range, like 45 to 85 degrees. It doesn't care about any kind of sugar, damn near any kind of sugar you put in front of it.
You gotta eat it.
I understand why everybody talks about it.
That's almost like the Kvike of the champagne yeast.
I find it too clean. I think it's too neutral. It doesn't bring anything to the party. Like if your apple,
it doesn't.
If your apple flavors are not 100%,
it lets me shine.
If you have good apples,
what I want to throw in there.
But if it's a bunch of your neighbors, like WTF, what the hell are these apples that aren't cider strains? Or
that's a good thing to talk about.
I think we'll do I think we should do a cider show next week.
Next week?
Next week on the show. I mean, we're not doing one today, so
we may need a week in advance to prepare for our guest.
Okay, maybe we'll do it in 2 weeks. We'll get Jen down here. That'd be
she said
dope.
she would. I talked to her this weekend.
Then let's get that on the books. Let's get her. You contact her.
We went. Her and I went down to Seattle to Holy Mountain.
Oh.
And I brought back a beer we're going to enjoy after the cider. Or after the next
Color
cider.
me excited.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're gonna have a beer 30 with like 2 ciders, and then we're gonna have the rest of the show with the Strata fresh hop.
So what do you so I'm gonna give Greg good notes on this. So Greg, your cider's crispy and dry, just how I like it. The strawberry is very forward.
Yep.
No detectable flaws.
Very little sediment in the bottom, which is nice.
A little bit of, when we opened it up, a little bit of and that could just, it kind of got away from us. That could just be from the bumpy car ride, having to drive over 3 sets of railroad tracks just to get here.
No. Yours was nice. Yours poured really nice.
But when we opened it, it started coming out of the bottle for us.
Oh yeah,
we had a little bit of that.
A little bit of that.
But no detectable flaws. I don't get any.
I don't think it was overcarbonated though.
I think it was just a little manhandled on the way over here.
I think you just
car handled.
Beat it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's how many railroad tracks are between here and the shop? There's all of them.
4.
Yeah. And I got stuck, and some of them I got across twice.
Did you?
No, I got stuck behind the
same one.
Yeah.
You can go down this way and over this way and around the tracks. And
you can do all that
through the railroad and Yep.
But the strawberry rhubarb, I would love to see a little bit more rhubarb. But the strawberry is freaking fantastic. Color's great. Clarity's great. Would not kick it out of bed for eating cookies.
See, for me, I'd like to see a little more strawberry in that. I mean,
You are allowed to differ in your opinions. It's legal.
I can detect both of them, but I definitely have the rhubarb side of it.
I'm glad. I'm jealous because I don't have that. I like it. I would love.
Maybe
I love rhubarb. I will eat it raw right off the fucking out of the garden.
The dregs. Maybe you need a little bit of that
The
dregs
sloopage.
in the bottom.
Let's see, get
there
some
it
of
is.
that,
There
yeah.
it is. There it is.
Taint
There
that.
you go.
There we go. I can.
There's rhubarb for you, buddy.
I'm gonna go find it. You're right.
Is that for real?
Yeah, it's in there. Have you ever used rhubarb in a batch of anything?
No, I tried.
I did a rhubarb saison. A good friend of mine shared his recipe. He uses for a 5 gallon batch. It was 5 pounds of rhubarb.
5 pounds.
And I did them in the boil. I did them in secondary. I essentially dry rhubarb. With it. I like a lot of rhubarb in there.
Right.
Lots of pectin in rhubarb too.
Okay.
It was hazy as shit. I had a pectic enzyme.
I juiced up to a half gallon and took it with me to Mexico.
That's a puckery juice.
And it's sat in my freezer, I think, 5 years.
What is this thing in the back? This unlabeled frozen concoction.
It's probably still there. The people who fucking have the house right now, they're like, what the hell is this? I don't know. It's there. I ain't cleaning it. But no
label.
No, I pulled it from my rhubarb plant here. I processed it and I took it to Mexico.
How did you juice rhubarb? I've never done
on a juicer.
like a
Yeah, just a regular juicer. It's
That's
like a
that's
celery.
a lot of pulp,
It's
man.
like a celery deal. Oh,
Yeah.
it is. But it juices up nice. And I've got my juicer. I've got a huge plant. It's ready to harvest.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanna rhubarb.
Well, I'll be chewing on some of that before we leave. Yeah, we'll just dunk a stalk in there as a nice garnish. Yeah.
Dude, it's way bigger than that.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
It is.
Let's pop the
All
top
right,
on
what
the
do we
second one. We
got?
got
What
a
do we
cherry
got?
spice, also from Greg.
Cherry spice. See, you can hear it.
Love the
Beer
rhubarb,
30
though.
just started again. You can hear it in the background. All right, I'm first this time
There you go.
because I'm going to get the cherry and you're going to get the spice.
Without tipping the bottle back over, there we go.
Yes.
Oh, that's a brighter red for sure.
Now, I'm wondering what the cider base is.
Yeah, I didn't. If he told me, I didn't write it down.
Okay. Because I'll go to the little cider barn over there on I-5 and get that and use that as my base. I'll go grab 5 gallons of that.
Look at the spice on the nose.
And a lot of times that's it's frozen. It's frozen. You know, careful. It's got a little spice in it. So big. Like my mom used to say, so big. Hold your arms up.
I inhaled the bubbles.
You did.
It's not a good way to drink your cider.
You
heard it here.
Yeah. Whew. So I'd go get the frozen gallons and then use those from a cider base. You like it?
Ooh. That is surprisingly cherry.
Ooh.
Forward.
I can smell cherry.
Dude, that tastes like cherry pie. Craig, that tastes like cherry pie.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
crap.
Wow.
Oh, man.
It does. It tastes like fresh cherry.
Man.
It tastes like fresh cherry. Whatever you did to that one, buddy.
It reminds me.
You got it nailed down.
I do a dessert. It reminds me a lot of it.
The spice hits the back of the palate when I'm done.
That reminds me of my mom had a dessert recipe. It was a cherry pie filling, and then she would take dry yellow cake mix and like pour that all over the filling with like slivered almonds and sugar, and then a stick of butter spread over there. Like pat it out
now,
and then bake that off.
Yeah,
and good God, that shit will.
Oh, fuck. Just tastes like this.
I would lick the pan. That shit was so good.
This is what that tastes like.
Yeah, and it's a liquid version. Greg, shut the fuck up, dude.
Okay,
Really
everybody imagine what apple pie tastes like in a drink, and we've all had apple pie. I think we've all had probably some version of an apple pie. Imagine cherry pie. This is what it is right here.
Yeah,
cherry
that's
pie.
straight up. That's a cherry pie, man. That's so good.
Fucking good.
Clarity. Clarity's a little opaque on there. We poured nice and gently. That could have been shook up though. But the color's cool. The
I don't
aroma.
even with that flavor and taste. I don't even care.
I don't care. Don't care.
How
Don't care.
how clear it is.
Yeah. It's not going to last
great.
long is what it is. Good job, Greg. Again, no faults detected. Nice clean ferment, no off flavors. Carbonation is sparkly. It's good.
Oh yeah, carbonation is so it's more carbonated than the rhubarb strawberry. Mm-hmm. It is more carbonated. Just to do a comparison. Yeah. If you took your notes.
Well, the good thing is we're recording all my notes today, so that's great. I can just send Greg the link and like, hey, here's your cider review, my friend.
Of course. We're doing it live, like we've asked. We've asked for this, and we deliver. We better start with some.
Do this like
20 questions.
Things we call the show.
I don't even know what to do here. Oh, there we go. Oh.
Well, we take a little break and.
Yeah, no, it's my new computer. I need to.
Figure out how it works.
Well, it's my settings when it goes blank or when it goes power save.
Oh yeah.
I need to shut down the power save and let it go. But we're
God, my eyes are burning. We'll take a little break and we'll come back with
close here.
20 random ass questions brought by homebrewers. We're gonna do our best to. Answer those in the most entertaining way possible. That came out right? Right. All right.
Right after this.
We'll take a little break.
In the home brewing system, one question is asked more than any other. In Burlington, the dedicated brewers who answer this question are members of an elite squad known as the Special Brewers Unit. These are their stories.
Mazda Man, why homebrew your own beer?
Bogeys suck.
Are you talking about golf?
Golf? No, I'm talking about the kind of beer you drink off the cart at the 19th hole. Homebrew, because birdie juice can be brewed. Trust Northwest Brewers Supply to help make every brew a hole-in-one.
Welcome back to the Beer Craft. Tonight, we're going to play a little game of 20 questions.
Oh, yeah.
We have scoured the internet to find the questions many homebrewers ask, along with some of the quirkier ones. We haven't looked at the list, so this is going to be just as much of a surprise for us.
All right,
so
let's
kick
jump
things
into
started. Andrew, you want the first question?
What is it?
All right.
Give it to me. Give it to me, Ben. Give it to me.
All right.
I feel just like sitting
Talk
here
to me.
holding my microphone today like I'm a rock star.
All right, do it. What are the 4 core ingredients of beer, and how do they each shape the final pint?
What are the 4 ingredients? We all know this.
Some of us do, some of us don't.
I think the
they might be
biggest ingredient, obviously, is water, right? Because that's most abundant. It's the biggest thing that shapes our life. Water. We are all like what 98% water. Right. Beer's 99 something water.
It's mostly water, kids.
Mostly water.
So
Let's attribute water. And the next thing is the grain. What we make. What we make. Give us the beer flavor, the sugars. Then we got the hops to counteract that sugar.
Sure.
So that's the third. That's the bittering unit because that barley's so sweet. Mm-hmm. And then the fourth one is the mysterious magic within brewing, the yeast and how it works.
Your ally in the brew house.
A living creature within our beer scheme. Yep, those are the 4.
Works for me.
Yeah. So,
hit me.
Now tell me what the difference between ale yeast and lager yeast and wild yeast.
All right. Ales versus lagers. Ale yeast are going to be classified. Those are going to be classified as top fermenting yeast. These guys are going to work at room temperature environments, as opposed to lager yeast, which are cold tolerant strains of yeast. Now, lager, that is a new thing. I mean, in the geological
Lager
time,
yeast
lager
is
yeast,
what?
It's
The newer
like 500
strain of
years.
yeast?
It's only 500 years old.
Right. So we always used to use ale yeasts from long ago.
Yeah. They're both Saccharomyces. So Saccharomyces cerevisiae is ale yeast. Most of the lager strains are Saccharomyces pastoranus.
We had an episode about this.
We did.
Right?
It was a good one. It was a good one. We talked about
how
like the
the
history
lager strains
Yeah.
started in the caves.
I remember
and,
yeah.
yeah.
So lager yeast are gonna be your cold tolerant. They'll ferment, down in the range of like 45 degrees. They are a little bit slower than ale yeast, so we typically are going to use twice as much. So we're going to put more to work to
Put
get
more
the
yeast
same,
in there?
Yeah, more yeast.
Yeah.
Generally, it's double your cell count.
So like when I'm gonna homebrew and I'm gonna do an ale versus a lager beer, I'm gonna use a little more yeast when I'm gonna do a lager. Right?
Typically, I'm going to double that
You're gonna
pitch
double
for like up to 1060 starting gravity. That would be 2 packs. 1061 to 1076, that'd be 3 packs.
Now, how does
4 packs.
how does all this compare to maybe a wild yeast? And can I get a wild yeast? I mean, where do I get a wild yeast?
Well, it's interesting. Wild yeast. The folks over at Garden Path, Ron and Amber, when they moved to the valley, they went and collected wild yeast and
Yep,
were able
I
to
remember
isolate
this.
and cultivate a unique strain, a strain unique to Skagit Valley, and it's a little bit different. It'll ferment out. It's
Right.
got a different character.
So in agricultural areas, you can actually cultivate whatever the local fauna is.
I think they were able to isolate it from
Flora?
strawberries.
Is that flora or is that the fauna?
It would be
Got to be the fauna since it's a living organism.
the microfauna.
That's
right?
a microfauna.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
It's got a living organism.
Yeah,
the
so I think
fauna.
they selected it from Skagit grown strawberries and isolated it and sent it off to lab and got it, tested, and it worked out. And it's got unique characteristics. It's definitely kind of. I think of it kind of in the farmhouse category of wild yeast. It's got some character, so a different ester profile than we're used to, different phenol profile than we're used to.
Now, are they going to use this over and over? And do you know if Garden Path right now is continuing to grow this yeast and cultivate this yeast to
They do have an
retain
isolate.
its character?
They do have an isolate. They do have it stored for them in terms of like being able to get a fresh pitch of it. I don't know how many. I know a lot of their ferments are quite lengthy, stored in their big huge fooders, and then they can blend them and balance them that way, kind of like some of your Belgian like Flanders red tradition, like old beer.
Have you ever seen their lab?
I'm not gonna.
Do
see
they
that.
show it off?
That'd be cool.
I don't think they show it off.
Yeah, that'd be cool though. I wish you get. I've talked to them several times. They're down to come into the studio.
I've been in some cool yeast labs before, but I've never seen theirs.
Another wild yeast, Brettanomyces, technically wild yeast.
Brett.
Yeah, Brett, and it is gonna do some fun stuff. It suffers from some poor marketing. It's in the sour category, which I think sour beers get a bad name, just like the name sour kind of has. And we did a show on that too.
Yep.
But Brettanomyces has one flavor descriptor called horse blanket, which in no way, shape, or form sounds appetizing
Goose.
until you drink it. I have found.
Isn't it crazy?
I love that horse blanket flavor
it's amazing.
in beer.
It's amazing.
Stupidly delicious. It shouldn't be. I don't know what else they would call it, because as soon as you try it, you're like, well, yeah, that's fucking horse blanket. That's exactly
tastes
what.
good.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I like it.
I love it.
I know in certain regions, like wine growing regions, though the microclimates have produced certain strains of yeast in abundance because they've been making wine on the property for several centuries. So they don't worry about pitching yeast because the average grape has like 50,000 cells of yeast on it. So they just squish them and let them rip. Now we're out here on the west, and agriculturally we're in our infancy, right? We mass agricultural and production spaces are still rather,
and then we're
under a couple hundred years, right?
And we cultivate and we rotate. So We don't have the same thing.
Yeah, we haven't done the same
year after
thing
year after
on the same
year.
speck of
You know,
dirt
yeah.
for centuries.
Yeah.
The
And
country's only a couple hundred years old.
And grapes are a lot different. You'll have a grapevine that you're going to cultivate this grapevine field for centuries.
Yeah.
Where you're not going to do that for what we have locally here. We have peas and corn and potatoes and
we got
sunflowers.
We grow damn near everything out here.
And Brussels sprouts and all that. And they rotate them all over. So we don't have that. We don't have the ability of those vines to grow that fungus or the bacteria or the
sufficient
yeast
culture sizes
that stay on our fruit, year after year after year after year.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
You ready for the next question, sir?
What is it?
All right. How long does a ferment take, and what actually happens during
Okay. So fermentation can take up to 9 months. Good. Yeast are very slow when it comes to a mead. If you don't feed the mead, if you don't feed the yeast, it could take a long time, and it'll get done. It'll go slow.
Yeah.
Yeast can also ferment a beer out in 3 days
Or
maybe
less.
a day and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Kavike is amazing.
Yeah.
At
That
good
Voss one I
temps?
brought in
Yep.
was like
Yep.
5 days grain to glass.
What is the perfect fermentation time? I think depends on the yeast strain that you have and the type of style of beer that you're making.
Yeah.
How you want to control that. You control that with temperature and yeast pitch cell count.
Sure.
And
Touched on a little bit of that with the kind of lagers.
yeah.
We speed things up because they're slow at cold temperatures. We speed it up by throwing more,
Throw more yeast.
throw
at
more
it.
yeast at the party.
Yep. Even though it's cold, it'll develop more because it's a party.
My understanding of yeast, kind of like the yeast life cycle, where we got the initial pitch, and that goes through a lag phase. And I think lag phase kind of, it sounds like there's not much going on, but the yeast are actually they're
Eating.
You're uptaking nutrients, preparing
Getting
for
healthy.
preparing for
Like
exponential growth.
Filling their bellies.
Yeah, and then in the presence of oxygen, they're going to reproduce.
Oh yeah.
Right?
They're eating all the beans, and then they're gonna expel all the CO2 and alcohol.
So you got the lag phase, you got the growth phase, and then you've got fermentation phase where there's no more oxygen. They're converting sugar into ethanol.
Yep.
And past that, you've got.
we have a whole episode on that. too.
I know you should check it out. But then they have the
Hey, are these
they're
40
preparing for
questions?
dormancy.
Are these 40 questions? One about each episode we've had.
So far, so good.
That'd be good.
Sorry
for interrupting you, brother.
I had Josh come up with the list, so I didn't actually get to see this
That would be
beforehand.
fun, though.
Yeah,
That'd be funny.
they're all like, "Oh, we've done that show.
All
We've
right.
done that show."
All right. I got a question for you. What are off flavors?
Oh,
Well, okay. Hold on. Let me narrow this question down.
yeah, that's a big question. There's like 20 of them.
Give me 2 off flavors and what happened.
How
to
about
get
this?
them?
I'm going to give you
two
kind of.
most
I'm
important.
going to give you kind of the top ones you're most likely to run into. The first one is oxidation. Oxidation
one.
comes
It's a good
from
one.
exposure to oxygen
Yep.
post fermentation. It's going to taste like cardboard or stale Cheerios. And if you have kids out there and your kids have ever given you a Cheerio that they found on the fucking crack of the
In
goddamn
the
couch and
yeah.
they just fed it to you, that is the taste of fucking oxidized beer. It's not great.
Right.
Not
Okay.
great.
The second
The second
part of oxidation is when you lose your hop profile.
Sure.
Your
Yeah.
hop profile goes away 4 days after you carbonate.
4 to 14. I've seen it. I've had a couple of my beers, like the IPA is bright and
Yeah, all
shiny
of a
for
sudden
2
it's, like,
weeks.
gone. What
the
happened?
next day it's like, where'd the fucking
Yeah,
go?
you got oxygen.
Oxygen
in it. That's the hardest
breakdown.
part.
Yeah, that's a rough one. So limiting oxygen exposure during production. After you pitch your yeast, you want enough dissolved oxygen to go get through the growth
There's
phase.
a whole bunch of causes we can't get it. We can't get into it now.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
just that's just the deal.
so
Actually, I think
limit
we have
oxygen.
an episode on that.
I do. So the next most common one you're going to run to is diacetyl. Diacetyl's got a shitty movie theater popcorn flavor, like the really nasty. I mean, like the one you can only eat at the fucking theater because what else are you gonna do for 2 hours? That one shows up usually. Most often, you're gonna see that in dirty draft equipment. Because you can get diacetyl buildup in dirty beer lines. So it may not be that the brewer fucked up and rushed to process. It might just be that the bar that's serving it hasn't cleaned their shit.
They haven't cleaned their shit for 2 weeks.
However, you can get it in your beer by rushing
it.
Rushing packaging. So it's too young. It hasn't done its job. Yeast will clean up their own. Will clean up diacetyl for us,
and that means you didn't leave in the fermenter long enough,
right?
Not in the cold crash, because you can ferment it out and then get it too soon, and then cold crash it, and it'll still have it.
It's still there. So we don't. It doesn't get a lot of press in ale fermentations because ales are already dealing with diacetyl at that temperature range. They do it just fine. We're just leaving them alone and letting them do their job. In lagers, you'll see a diacetyl rest. So like day 5, day 7 of active fermentation, ramp up the temperature to 68 degrees, even though it's a cold tolerant yeast and loves 45. You want to get it up to 68, 70 for a couple of days. And then the lager yeast will manage diacetyl faster at that warm temperature range. And then you cold crash the son of a bitch. But those are some big ones, especially in homebrew. I'm gonna add acetaldehyde to that one too, because it's also a rush to packaging.
Very, very, very undetectable. I mean, it's hard to
for
detect
some. I don't have a problem. And that's kind of a thing.
That one's got by me many times.
Every time I've done an off flavor panel, half the room can taste half of the off flavors, and the other half can't.
I'm like, this tastes good. This is like green apple. I love Granny Smith apple.
I
love that.
I think
flavor.
it tastes like a shitty knockoff Jolly Rancher.
Yeah.
The
green apple. It's green apple.
Like I like
Jolly Rancher.
Jolly Rancher version, but the knockoff ones don't taste great.
I know, but I'm just one of those guys that the receptors in my palate, I'm like, yay, it's good. I don't care. This is good in a beer. So it doesn't alert me, and I'm like, wow. You're right. I can taste
there
that.
It is.
Wow.
So that one is incomplete fermentation protocol, rushing the package.
Yep.
Yeast create acetaldehyde, and then they will consume it as a secondary fuel source when the sugars are all gone. So you got to let them do that job.
Yeah. Don't rush
do you remember
what we always say? It's like, relax,
slow down,
man.
Relax. Have a homebrew. Do you recall butyric acid? Oh, this one's fun. I always bring this one up. It tastes like vomit.
This is why I was only giving you a couple.
Yeah, because I know I was going to go there. I actually found butyric acid in the wild. Somebody brought me their beer and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with it? And it's happened in a couple batches. And sure as shit, he had a butyric acid infection. And it was vomity.
Let's talk about
anything else.
Quick, what causes this, and how do we
get rid of
it?
It is a bacterial infection.
It's just a bacteria
poor
that
cleaning and sanitation protocol.
Over and over.
Vomit.
Not cleaning a certain.
Do you remember Birdie Bott's every flavored beans? Like when the Harry Potter movies came out, they had like the Bean
vomit
Boozled.
one.
Yeah. There's a vomit flavored one.
I sat in the movie theater.
That's butyric acid.
That's awesome.
You can go get it now if you want. I don't recommend it. All right.
Thank God I never had that one in any one of my beers ever in my
never
entire
my beer.
life.
I found it in somebody else's. I had to be the
ever.
bearer of bad news, and that was pretty rough. All right. Next question before we start vomiting over butyric acid. What are the most common brewing mistakes that can cause bad beer?
Not cleaning your equipment sufficiently.
We just talked about butyric acid.
I know, that's
sanitation
why.
protocol.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing in brewing beer. Sanitation. Keep it clean.
Rule number 1, clean and sanitize it. Rule number 2, clean and sanitize it.
Okay, so there's a certain place. Okay, everything needs to be clean. Everything needs to be sanitized. Certain things need to be sterilized. And there's a certain place for all of that. There's a certain step. I need to have everything clean all the time. Everything has to be clean. Everything has to be good, nice, shiny, everything. Now, I know when I need to be sanitized. When I get after the boil, now I'm looking at sanitation.
Yeah.
After the boil, I'm sanitation. Anything that touches it, anything or where I'm going, everything has to be
Every bit of gear
sanitized. Everything has to be washed with an acid, cleaned correctly, everything.
Sterilization we don't see much in brewing. Thankfully, that's an extra level of work for sterilization. You know, now you're talking like autoclaves and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Thankfully, I don't see much of that.
Is an acid a sterilization?
It's sterilization. It's not sanitation. I mean, it's not sterilization. It is sanitation.
Is an acid sanitized?
It's sanitizing. Yeah.
All right. Acid's
Sterilizing,
usually
you
good
get
enough.
into like autoclaves. You got to cook it for the right amount of time.
Yeah, I'd have never autoclaved anything.
Or
like
ozone.
Maybe
stuff.
autoclave my.
We don't
maybe
have to do
autoclave
that.
my plate chiller, my Blickman plate chiller.
I have cooked mine.
Ask me where the worst part of it is, and it's in my Blickman fucking plate chiller.
Plate chillers are kind of notorious that way.
Fucked me many times, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with my beer? I'm like, ooh. And
There's a fucking slug in your fermenter or in your
but
chiller.
it's not coming out when I'm washing it. I'm washing it with hot water. It's not coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because I gotta do it the other way, the counter pressure
So
way.
you
then
can.
I've got to dry it, and then I've got to fucking do it again. Oh,
If
my
you have a
God.
plate chiller and you're concerned about something
Gross.
growing in there, you can strip it down to just metal components. Like strip it down, all the hardware off of it, throw it in a 500-degree oven for an hour, cook it all off. It'll carbonize everything in there, backflush the shit out of it once it's cool. I mean, don't try to fucking grab it. The thing's a brick. It's going to retain heat for a minute. Let it cool down and then just flush all that carbon out of there, because that'll carbonize anything that's in there.
That's gross.
Yeah,
too.
500 degrees will do that trick.
And you gotta flush that for a while before that shit gets in your wort.
So as soon as I'm done,
your wort's going through there, and it's because your wort was in there. I mean,
you left it in there. Yeah,
and your wort and your hop residue.
I back flush mine as soon as I use it. I switch the water into the other direction.
Oh yeah,
through the wort channel and push it all out.
Still don't know.
Last time I did a fresh hop beer, I turned on the pump, sent it to the chiller, and I watched a fucking slug of hops go into the chiller. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I just shit the bed.
Just cleaning
God
all
damn.
this stuff is funny, and there's so many stories about it that we can tell. Look what happened when I did this, or I cleaned that. I did this.
I've made
But
every mistake out there.
It is the most important thing. Clean it,
and then sanitize it.
and sanitize it.
Another good place for infection in your brew house is if you have a scratch in your bucket. There's a host of like nasty bacteria can live in that little micro groove, and they'll taint every batch, and you're just gonna hate life.
And you
when
won't
that
see
happens.
it. You won't see the bacteria built up because you're scrubbing the top layer away.
It's microscopic. You can't see shit.
It's still in there.
Yeah, they can hide in those cracks and hang out and wait for more
like
food.
acid.
All right, what is this
Okay.
next question? Number 6.
Process and techniques.
It's categorized. I didn't know that. Yeah.
What's the real difference between mash temperature rates? We mash in at 148 or you mash in at 156.
All right, that's a good question. Your mash temperatures really have to do with mouthfeel and the amount of fermentable sugars you're going to get. So at the low end of the range, we are favoring short chain sugar development. So the beta amylase cuts them in cuts a long chain.
Beta works
Yep,
first.
Yep, and at the lower temperatures, it's
and
favorable
they cut the
there.
ends off the chains.
Make them slightly shorter as beta.
Yeah.
I always get those two confused.
They cut the ends
Yeah.
off.
So alpha amylase then takes a long chain and makes
Cuts
two
it in
short
half.
chains. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the lower end of the range, we're favoring the development of short chain sugars that are consumable by yeast. So you'll have a drier finishing beer,
Right.
more
The yeast will
more
eat-
alcohol.
The yeast will eat these sugars.
Yep. And you will
faster.
also have a lighter
It'll be
a lighter beer,
like a
lighter
light beer.
the weight of the on the mouthfeel kind of thing.
Closer to water.
Right. So I think of 148 degree temp range is like Coors Light finish, whereas 158 is kind of like your big Russian Imperial Stout, big and jammy. You eat it with a fucking spoon. Kind of the mouth feel is very different.
Yeah, or a big Scotch ale.
If you haven't had any of those beers, you can think about like chicken broth versus chicken stock. Chicken broth is chicken flavored water,
right.
where chicken broth or chicken stock has kind of a mouthfeel,
like
and unctuous and savory.
Compared to Starbucks.
Right. Very
Like
good.
Folgers
I like that one. I like that one. Yeah. So those mash temperatures, it is a decision we get to make as brewers. What kind of fit and finish do we want on our beer? Are we favoring alcohol for more slightly higher ABV, or at the sacrifice of body and mouthfeel, or do we, favor the thickness of the beer and enough booze? We get the booze that we get, but we want that sweeter, heavier finish on it.
It depends on what beer you're brewing.
A lot of beers just clock in at 152, kind of right in the middle of that range. So we get a blend of both.
Yeah, it's a normal ale feel.
It's like when in doubt, 152.
But look, if you're brewing a Kolsch, why don't you mash it at 145?
I've tried to push the envelope on drier finishing beers, like how low can I go? And I found that at the lower end of that range, I was far more susceptible to like astringent finishes.
Now, did you mash out or higher? Or did you mash out?
No, I'm lazy. I don't do mash out.
Oh, shit. So I do step mash out. So I'd mash in at 140, 146. I mash in at 146. So I'm
way low.
I'm mashing low, right? So I bump it up to 150, right? I get a step because 15 minutes, 20 minutes, those enzymes they've converted it all. So now I'm going to ramp it up. Now I'm going to bump up the heat to 150. Now those enzymes at 150 are starting. Now they're converting the sugars even more in my next 20 minutes. And then my next 20 minutes after that, I'm ramping up to 156.
Yeah.
So then I've got 20 minutes of the last of the sugars going. So I've got like this, step mash with the
sounds good on paper. I'm a lazy
mash.
brewer. I love a single infusion. Fucking don't have to dick with it again.
I never do that.
Yeah.
I always like a step. I step infuse everything.
I mean, I've tried shit like decoction and just made a fucking hot mess and had
Decoction's
to
a lot of fucking work, man.
That's all fucking work. I don't want to do it.
Dang it! I gotta pull shit out of there and like heat it up and put it back in. No, I'm just gonna heat the fire. Heat that fire.
All right, here's another one straight from the record books. We've got an episode on this. What do IBUs measure, and why do people say it's misleading?
Oh, well, it's only interpretive on how much the COA will tell you on the hop bag. Oh, the COA is for malt, but there's probably a COA. There's kind of the COA. There's COA on the hop bag too. Acids is. Yeah, they tell you what the hop acid is. Alpha and the beta acid on there. Mm-hmm. It's all percepted. It's all percepted value based on kind of like how we think the human palate will perceive the hop bitterness. Now, I mean, we all perceive bitterness differently.
Or spiciness.
Or sourness. I mean, we all have a little bit of a different interpretation. So it just gives us a basic interpretation. It gives us a basic line about how bitter this beer is going to be. Okay, that will tell me which beer I need to drink last, because I'm going to look at the IBU level. I'm going to do the lowest level because my lupulin level only goes increasingly higher.
The lupulin shift.
Yes, because once I taste that lupulin, I can't taste
anything else
lower.
Yeah.
So I can only taste more bitter and more bitter and more bitter. So that's what I'm after.
Yeah. We do have a great show on that one. You should check that one. I don't know what. What episode? I should look at. I think we need to take a break. Take 5. We gotta go find that other beer. Let's do that. Let's take a little break and get some more beer.
Oh, that was good.
Yes, that's good.
That was ice cold. Okay, I went and got a beer. I went and got this new beer for the rest of the show here, for the rest of our questions.
Are we rolling?
From Holy Mountain. It's called the Strata Fresh Hop IPA. Really good. Now I have a question. Strata. We had a show recently on CTZ.
Sure.
At Citra, and I think I do have a aversion to Citra hop.
An aversion.
And I'm wondering if Strata is a version of Citra. I'm wondering because I kind of get the same flavor from it.
It is, so according to Yakima Valley Hops, it was formerly X331 Indie Hops, first variety to be released out of the Oregon State Aroma Hop Breeding Program in Corvallis. Love that town. Strata is the progeny of an open pollinated pearl located in an Oregon State experimental field. But doesn't say what other parentage.
No.
They talk about
probably not Citra because I think that was as a registered hop.
Yeah, Yakima Valley Hops doesn't have that.
No.
Yeah, I mean they can sell it, but they sell it under license.
Corvallis?
Corvallis.
Yeah, so Corvallis wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
It'd only be in the Yakima Valley.
Brewing
Citra.
characteristics: strawberry, passion fruit, grapefruit, bubblegum, sage.
But I
and
get
dank.
I get all that.
I get the
delicious.
passion fruit. I get the grapefruit. I get the dankiness. Fucking goddamn good hop.
The
Holy
sweetness,
mountain.
all the sweetness of this, and
Damn, that's good.
isn't it good?
India Pale Ale, and it looks like a hazy.
Fresh hop.
Yeah,
fresh hop hazy.
Fresh hop. You'd use a butt ton of them, like 5 to 1.
Fresh hop
whatever.
hazy. You know, I mean, all the good breweries are doing all these hazy IPAs and all that. So I was
That's a
in
good
the
beer. Holy shit.
I was in a nondescript brewery, and I'm like, oh, look at that name. Oh, it's such and such name. That was a WC IPA. I was like, oh, water closet?
West Coast?
I was like, yeah, that's a water closet.
Oh, terrible name. Terrible name.
WC.
Yeah. The WC in French, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
That's a good beer. Shit.
That is a good beer.
Way to go. Holy Mountain, you're all right. You're on our team.
Holy Mountain.
All right, back to the questions. Hit me with question number 8
All right.
from the secret envelope, please.
Ben,
Yes, sir.
what's the difference between Flame Out, Whirlpool, and dry hop additions of hops?
All right. So these are all late additions. 2 in the kettle, one is post fermentation.
Flame Out?
So Flame Out is literally a 0-minute addition. So when you turn the flame off
As soon
on
as
your
your
kettle,
flame goes out,
hit that with the
bam.
hops. You're gonna get
Throw the hop in.
You're gonna get
That's
some isomerization because you're still north of 170 degrees. But not a ton. And you since you're no longer boiling, you're not losing as many aromatics. And this one, I generally just leave this one in through chill. If I'm, chilling through a Whirlpool or something like that. Which brings us up to Whirlpool editions. These I see in 2 different flavors. We see hot side and cold side Whirlpool.
okay,
Hot
now
side
explain to me how we're going to get Whirlpool.
Whirlpool, really, we're just like circulating the wort while
In our-
hops
in
are
our-
in there.
in our kettle.
We might be through a chiller and then back into the kettle.
So we're whirlpooling the wort inside our
The boil kettle. Yeah. Some breweries will have like a dedicated Whirlpool.
as it's extracting out to the chiller slowly.
Yeah, and this one comes in like 2 flavors. The hot side, obviously, it's going to be close to like your Flame Out edition. It's going in hot. It's hanging out. It's no longer boiling, but you're north of 170 degrees. You are getting some isomerization. We did an experiment like how many hops it would take to get to 100 IBUs in a Whirlpool edition, and it was more than we had. So we did a 3/4 ounce of Warrior at first wort hopping, and then 1.5 pounds in 10 gallons to get to 100 IBUs. And it was a really fucking. It was a great beer.
And you did it?
We did it. It was really.
Now that was
busy.
100 IBU as a bittering hop, or 100 IBU.
It was 100 IBU, but we only did a first wort hop edition right out of the mash tun for like 3/4 ounce of Warrior, and that accounted for like 30 IBUs. So it was 70 IBUs late.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was before like the haze craze.
Like
and
the
everything.
last question.
So the other
how much is it really instilled in us that we need to perceive that hop flavor?
We were going for like can we get to
IBU.
100 IBUs on paper? And how much hops does it take?
course
as a
I
Whirlpool?
can.
Yeah, just throw fucking more at it, and it's a lot more. The other one you
Does it
see
come
is a cold side.
Fuck no.
Or whirlpool sub 170 degrees. We're no longer isomerating alpha acids, but we are extracting oils and resins and flavors and aromas, terpenes, all of the good stuff.
All those things that come out are in non-hot side.
So it's kind of akin to dry hopping, but it's sort of a dry hop in the kettle. So we're doing it early before fermentation. Dry hopping is adding hops post fermentation. Which is a little bit different than like a.
Sometime we added like at day 3 or
in
day
a hazy
5.
IPA, you'll see at High Krausen adding some hops, and you're going to get some biotransformation and stuff. But traditionally, your dry hop.
Looking at Pliny the Elder, it's
traditionally it's a late.
Added,
it's a post fermentation edition typically. When you see dry hopping, that's the one. Unless it's it's a hazy and it's specific to say, hey, do it on day 3. Dry hopping is post fermentation.
I don't have my recipe anymore, but I'm pretty sure it was like.
I've got Pliny the Elder. I've got that raspberry.
I think
they got a lot of hops.
2 days of fermentation, 3 days, 5 days,
I'll have to take a look at
7 days, and then 9 days of fermentation. So I'm pretty sure it was like all those things.
Yeah, and our goals are a little bit different for each one of these things. Do we want some bitterness or do we not want some bitterness? And those are kind of those decisions. Do we want to do a do I want to deal with it? Do I want to do
dry
a late
hopping?
whirlpool?
You're not going to get the bitterness from it.
Dry hopping, absolutely not. Your sub 170, a cold side whirlpool, you're not going to get bitterness
from.
You're
going to get that hop
flavors and aromas. Yeah, sticking it right back in there.
Yumness.
So that's kind of those critical differences. You ready for number 9? Number nine. And we kind of touched on this one earlier, reading ahead a little bit. Why does hop character fade so quickly in an IPA?
Oh, that would be from the oxygen. The enemy of IPA. Because what you're gonna do is I'm gonna probably take my IPA out of my bottling bucket, and I'm gonna put it into I'm gonna bottle it into my bottles, and I'm not gonna fill it up the entire. And I'm not going to fill up the bottle because I'm scared. I'm like, I don't want to waste any. So I'm going to leave a little head, and then I'm going to cap it. And then within that head, it's going to go. Even if I fill it up and it still draws some ambient air, it's still going to draw a little bit of oxygen in there. So we need to make sure we use, when you do that, you need to fill up the bottle all the way, let it come back, and then you need to put an oxygen
absorber cap
on.
I typically with like something like a beer gun or a poor man's beer gun, I'm gonna inject CO2 into the bottle, so as I'm filling it, it's pushing out CO2, and I'm not getting.
I know, but
but as you go all the way to top with like a bottling gun, and then it draws back down.
Ambient.
So that's where your oxygen scrubber cap is going to be.
That's where your oxygen scrubber cap.
And IPAs, hey, you're going to want to drink those fuckers fast anyways.
And sometimes
it's not a beer to sit on.
Sometimes I don't do it right, and I introduce oxygen somehow into the bucket or somewhere else. Just be careful.
Yeah,
just be careful.
Whatever you can do that.
Look at your process and just don't be sloppy.
Yeah. What's next on the list?
Oh,
number 10.
How does barrel aging change beer over months or years?
Barrel aging. So barrels, the oak barrel has been classically used because the tannins in oak are preservatives. They prevent spoilage. Bacteria, a host of spoilage bacteria cannot handle the tannins from oak, and that's why it's been classically used in wine and beer and whiskey production for since we figured out how to make one. They're still in use today, so you're gonna get
now as we barrel age our liquid's actually going to become higher alcohol content. Can you explain that?
So that's through evaporation. As liquids seep through porous wood, we lose a volume, and we're losing.
So the alcohol is
water.
not seeping through as well.
So and that's kind of a new there's the angel share on barrels, and I don't understand exactly the mechanics because doesn't alcohol being thinner and smaller molecule weed its way through the porous structure just as fast or faster as water?
No. It doesn't want to.
Doesn't want to apparently. So yeah,
maybe
it's reacting differently.
It wants to stay in that volume huddled together.
Flavors we're going to get
while the other molecules of liquid try to get away from it.
So we're going to get flavor changes. We're going to get kind of that oak character, that woody kind of character in our beer. We're also going to extract vanillin, especially in like a new American
Vanillin?
oak. Vanillin.
Vanillin.
It's going to be a vanilla kind of flavor to things. So
I know
those beers are pretty tasty.
That's another one of those words we need. We need the beer vocabulary for. Is it vanillin or vanillin?
I think it's vanillin. We call it vanilla. Vanillin. Yeah, I think
Vanillin.
so. I think so.
I think it's it's
so
like a chemical
month
that's
versus
vanillin.
so the other part of the question was months versus years.
Right.
That depends on
Ooh,
there's
years
like
in a-
solvent
in a-
strength versus surface area versus it's kind of a matrix equation of
Did you just say solvent strength?
alcohol a solvent, water's a solvent.
Solvent strength.
So
I
it's
don't
kind of
want
this.
I don't
It's
want my 3-year barrel age.
right.
Stout to
Trying
be
to determine like how long
black
to oak
solvent.
this is a function of solvent strength, surface area, and time. And so
Okay.
kind of that matrix equation to kind of satisfy all these
So
things.
I got me a barrel. I got me a whiskey barrel from Woodinville Whiskey years ago. They had a 5-gallon barrel, 6-gallon barrel, and I came in. I put the ox in it. Oh my God!
God damn.
6 days. 6 days.
When are you going to brew that again? Jesus Christ.
I will. 6 days I had to take it out. It
was like a punch.
Because I was tasting it every day. I was so excited. And I'm like, this is too much. So this is too much. I got to take it out. I took it out like so good. And then I did it again. And then the next.
Did you double your soak time the second time around?
It was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It was 6 days and then 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks. And then it wasn't even as good. 3
Right.
weeks, I'm like.
Well, you didn't have the whiskey. So I've on second running or third running in that case barrels. I've thrown a bottle of whiskey back in there and sloshed it around and kind of like recharge it.
Right.
Because I want those flavors. If I'm using a whiskey barrel, I want some of the whiskiness.
I did it a third time, and I needed to leave it in there. I think 3 months. So it was 6 days, like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and then 6 months.
Yeah.
For the barrel, and I didn't add any. I didn't recharge it. It was just like the leaching out of it.
Yeah.
And each time I used the stout, and it was so delicious.
And it so depends
Each
on the
time.
beer too. Like I've done like barrel aged IPAs, which are very interesting. I recommend a short soak on those.
Very short.
But it was dynamic and it came out more like a barley wine than anything else. It was like 9+%.
Right. And then at barley wine, you don't want to even have an IPA.
It was a lot to drink, but I did get a drink.
You just
like
wasted all your hops.
I got to drink a bottle aged, a year-old bottle aged version of that beer, and I regret that beer just sat in the keg. Nobody was drinking it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I wish I'd packaged that because the 1-year-old bottle conditioned version, it was straight ambrosia. I wanted so much more of that one. All right, question 11. Here we go. In the brewing science and geekery section, why does yeast flocculation matter, and what's the difference between top cropping and bottom cropping strains?
Well, yeast flocculation can clear all the yeast out of suspension. When your fermentation is coming to a completion, and you have a lot of flocculation, that will collect all the yeast cells and bring them to the bottom. When you don't have a lot of flocculation, you might need to use a fining. It might not even. You might
These
not
days,
even
if
see
you
much
give a shit
either.
about it. Clarity in beer.
Right, because the yeast. Sometimes the yeast are very like flocculent. I would call it flamboyant. I would kind of like flamboyant. They're like in there. Oh my God, I've seen like fermentations in a glass carboy where the flocculations are just dancing and they're just like.
Big old clumps of,
and they're just in there spinning and falling down and
Yep.
and like they come back up, blah 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 blah. They're like, yeah. So I think it's more like that flamboyancy of it, how they want to be, the flocculency,
Their ability to clump together and drop out of
and,
suspension.
and clump together and line dance.
What about top cropping versus bottom cropping strains?
How are you going to bottom crop? I couldn't tell you. You can top crop. When you can top crop during Krausen and like
For an ale.
yeah, and get it out. I used to bottom crop in my ales because I used to drain. I used to drain my beer, And then once the beer is drained out of the fermenter, now I'll go down in there and I'll it's not bottom cropping, but I would go into the bottom and I'd get my fresh yeast out of the middle of my cake for my next beer.
Yeah.
So I don't know
I've
how
done a
you
couple,
would
like-
bottom crop a lager, but
I think maybe the bottom cropping versus top cropping strains is probably kind of that ales versus lagers difference. Bottom fermenting ale or lager yeast, they hang out at the bottom, they stay at the bottom. So if you need to retrieve them, you're going to retrieve them from the bottom.
Get a spoon in there.
I know, like yeast harvesting protocols, it's a whole different art to it out of a conical fermenter.
Yeast harvesting is easy.
Also easy to schmuggle it.
Yeast harvesting is easy if you know the fundamentals and the protocols.
Right. I mean, if you harvest the ones that flocculate, if you harvest too soon, you get yeast that flocculate early and don't finish the job. Yeah. Do it too late, and you are now you are propagating yeast that never flocculate, and you end up with hazy fucking beers. So doing it at the right time and getting the right stuff, that's where that kind of like, oh, we gotta think about these things.
Yep. I mean, we used to do that all the time and just have a success.
I've pitched a lot of, I've done beers just like pitched away and did the whole thing, and
you just gotta do it right.
What is number 12?
Will beer help with constipation
or make it worse?
Does this make it worse? Constipation.
Well, I mean,
and
most constipation is a function of dehydration. Beer is a diuretic, but it's also mostly water.
You got B12.
I mean, if you drink a lot of beer, don't you get the beer shits? I mean, like that's a thing too. Like, so no more constipation in the morning.
I've never been constipated from beer, and I've got the shits from beer before.
So I would say, like, this is one of those. That's a weird question. I would say, like, if you drink enough, you won't have a problem anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So,
I think a lot of homebrew has a lot of
So let me know if you're out there and you're constipated right now. Go ahead and
if you're constipated,
drink 12 beers and call me in the morning.
Oh my gosh. All right. Give me 13.
Number 13. Why do the bubbles in Guinness sink instead of rise?
Oh, the cascade effect of nitrogen. Because the bubbles appear to be sinking because I think the beer is coming up between them and the nitrogen is trying to escape into a cascading effect.
That's kind of cool. It's a really pretty show.
I love it.
I think we did a show on nitrogen. On nitrogen. You should check that one out. Maybe we'll talk about it there. Number 14.
Hold on, 14.
Yeah, you're going to ask me 14. That's right.
Party.
So we're getting there. We've got 14. We've got 6 left. It's great.
We got 10 bonus questions.
Well, we did some bonus questions in case we went too fast. Right. That doesn't seem to be a problem today.
How does serving temperature in glassware? I've heard you on the show say that you shouldn't put your glasses in the freezer. So how does this actually affect your flavor, or does it affect your perception?
Here's what the first part. Here's what that frozen glass does. Carbonation in beer, we lose carbonation with temperature differences. Whether it's hot or colder than the beer temperature, the gases become unstable. So if we've got a carbonation profile, nailed at 40 degrees, and we serve it in a warmer glass, we're going to lose carbonation. Our beer's going to taste flatter. Conversely, if the glass is colder than the beer, that's going to cause a reaction, and it's going to be kind of a chain reaction. One sets off, and that sets off 2 more, and that sets off 4 more, and all of a sudden you've got flat beer. So that's kind of a thing. Beer temperature, in terms of overall flavor perception, if the beer is ice cold or really cold, it actually dulls your taste buds and makes you less good at tasting beer. And that's why Coors has to be served ice cold, so you can't taste how shitty it is. How about that? How about that? For the short answer.
Because when you have a beer, and if you have a beer at room temperature and it tastes good, that's a good beer.
Yeah. There's some other things on glassware. There's certain glass styles, like your tulip-shaped glass. Yeah. Tulip-shaped glass for like your Belgians. It's focusing the aromatics right up your nose, and so that improves your
perception.
your perception of aromatic qualities in the beer. So the right glass for the right beer can do that. So some of those shapes lend to that, like even like your tall, skinny Pilsner glass. It's a small opening, so it's narrowing the
Tall, skinny.
ocean.
That would be a tall, skinny Cole's glass. Right?
Cole's glass. Cole's glass, the Stange little 8-ouncer. That's a cute little glass. All right, I think that's enough. That's enough on glass. Number 15.
Enough on glassware.
So we talked.
We've got 15 questions left.
Yeah. Let's go to a bonus question because we already talked about oxidation in beers twice already. So we're going to go to bonus question 1. What is trub, and why does separating hot break versus cold break matter?
Now, I always thought this was pronounced trub.
Trub.
Yeah. Trub. And this is another, beer language episode we need to have.
Yeah. Trub. I don't know.
Trub.
Yeah. So
what is it? Protein.
Ding. That's what he said. He said it here, folks. So why do we give a shit?
It makes it coagulate and brings it out of our substance, out of our wort,
Out of our beer. Yep.
Don't want it.
They're haze forming proteins. If we by managing them in the hot break and the cold break, they leave our beer and they do not return. There are a couple different proteins involved. This is just 2 of them.
A lot of people don't grab them out. A lot of people don't sit there and
filter them out.
Yeah.
So some trub is okay. Like yeast will use it as a nutritional source, and as long as it stays in the bottom, and when you're racking off into packaging or into a bottling bucket or a keg or something,
it's always
you're not stirring it back up in there. Yeah, I'm not stirring it back up in there. All right, let's go on to question 16.
16.
Haven't talked about this one for a while. I just glanced ahead. Go ahead. Ask me the question.
What exactly did Reinheitsgebot allow or forbid?
All right. Reinheitsgebot.
We haven't talked about Reinheitsgebot for many episodes. I've not brought it up just for you.
The bulk of
we got to get back
the bulk of the text in Reinheitsgebot is actually a taxation measure. It sets a limit on what we can charge, what can be priced, how we're going to pay the taxes on that.
Kinda.
Now, it did mention in the early days. It mentioned a prohibition on additions to beer that were not barley. It was not hops, and it was not and water. So those are your ingredients. Now yeast was not included in that list.
They had no idea about yeast.
No. Remember, we did the show. Didn't we do a show on that? I think we did.
1862.
Because yeast fall out of suspension and are not present in the finished beer by and large due to flocculation. It was not included in the list of prohibitions in beer because it was gone. And because they knew what? No, they did know. In 1560, they did know about yeast. Or they knew something was going on. And whatever it was no longer there.
They thought it was magic.
Yeah.
They didn't know anything about it until 1962 in Louis Pasteur.
It was earlier than 1962.
1862.
They knew something was going on, but they also knew it was not.
I'm going to get nailed on my
in
thing.
1516. Yeah.
Whatever Louis Pasteur did it.
Now, it earlier it mentioned like barley, but then it was switched to good cereals so they can include wheat because in 1520 the Archduke got really big fan of Hefeweizen with its 50% wheat, so they made it okay. So they broke their own rule 4 fucking years later, and you should do it every day. So that's Reinheitsgebot. Purity fuck off a lot. It's a pretty interesting historical piece of toilet paper. Yeah, there you go.
18.
Oh, we're Googling Pasteur.
Yeah. 1862 is about what it was. Yep. Good.
All right, Andrew.
I'm right
number
on.
17.
Okay, hold on. I need to give a caveat from Reinheitsgebot.
Do it. Give you some.
One of the main things about Reinheitsgebot was the king probably had friends that were growing hops at that point, and they had favor of the. Well, they already had
his
the
friends,
grains.
though.
They had the grains, but he had like, hey, we're giving favor to the king for our hops. We need to have beer with hops, so the king made it. Oh, my hops.
Hops are good.
We switched from Gruit to hops, and we had all these hop growers, come and yeah.
All right, Andrew. Moving on to question 17. What is spontaneous fermentation?
Spontaneous, it's whenever it erupts. The eruption of the gases that are formed after the yeast eat the sugars.
You sure about that?
Yeah. Spontaneous fermentation happens when I'm like pressing some cider apples and don't pitch yeast. Maybe I'm brewing in some weird spot and it's raining and I'm brewing outside and
So it's wild yeast
something
into your
gets
wort,
into my stuff
and it kicks off before you add yeast. So you're not adding yeast; it's just the ambient
whatever
flora
comes in
and
from
fauna,
from wherever you're at.
like so many Belgian brewers of old.
That's how Garden Pat did it.
They
And probably many others.
sure.
Other
It's
places.
it's a long history. I mean, like,
It's just- it's
prior
just
to even understanding what
Terroir.
yeast
It's
was,
terroir.
it
It's
was
terroir
it was
yeast.
fucking magic. It was a magic spoon that made beer. Like every time we stir the beer, it fucking
Every time
when we
make-
stir this wort,
every time
it
we
comes
make
up,
the beer,
turns into beer.
it's good.
It's great.
Starts bubbling.
That's kind of like old school spontaneous fermentation. What was really happening is the wood was impregnated with yeast, and every time they would stir it, it would inoculate the batch. So it wasn't strictly spontaneous.
Right.
But to the understanding of the day, it was fucking magic. So that's kind of cool. Basically just wild yeast. Grape, a lot of wineries will just crush grape and count on the yeast that's already on
the
fruit.
skins and the tannin, yeah.
And it takes off.
Good
All
to
right,
go.
hit me with number 18.
What with what's with the X marks on the beer, like Dos Equis or Tres Equis? Wait a minute, triple X beer. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I've seen Dos Equis, but now I'm thinking Dodo Chicken Pow Wow.
Right. So I don't actually have like a here's what I think.
Okay,
Here's
coming.
Do you
up. Here's
recall
coming
like
up.
some of like the old cartoons? You would
good
see
music.
like somebody drinking a jug of shine out of like a clay vessel, and it had an X, 3 X's on it, triple X, and that was like high proof or like it was special. I think it's kind of I think for like Dos Equis, it is marketing spin is sort of like, oh, it's extra special. Right, it's extra,
Extra,
and
extra.
So it's an extra beer.
So extra is dubbed the triple X.
It must be good, or why would you use triple X? Because otherwise you're thinking shady,
Bow Wow.
shady fucking sticky floor theaters, man.
we got the good music behind this bed. Yep.
Brown chicken, brown cow. All right, what is the weirdest ingredient you've ever used in a beer?
Weirdest.
Silence. It's golden.
I know. Maybe
The most out there for you.
most out there. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I would have to say
Do some weird fruit kind of thing.
probably rhubarb.
Rhubarb. That's a noodly one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I never used it.
The weirdest one I ever did was a kava beer.
Kava beer.
That kava root from Hawaii was supposed to be like, it was supposed to be mildly hallucinogenic.
Hold on.
That was interesting.
You're reminding me now. I used beets. I used beets. I wanted to make a beer for my sister, and I wanted to make it red. And so I was going to call it Hunter's Blood because she owns an archery shop in Arizona.
Oh, cool.
Called Corner Archery. If you're into archery, you can get all your archery needs from cornerarchery.com.
Where they at?
In Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix. There you go.
Yeah, so I wanted to make a brew called Hunter's Blood for her, and so I was trying to stain all the beer red by adding all these beet, and I boiled the beets, I cut them up, and it didn't even turn it red at all. Nothing. It did it totally drained the beets. They almost turned white, so I could see all the
color, yeah,
they leached the color out of them, but it didn't even affect the beer at all. Like, dang it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, hit me with number 20.
Is there really beer made from a brewer's beard yeast? Have you
Oh, yeah.
ever done that? Because I
Okay,
know you
'cause
have
I
a
have a
big
beard.
beard.
So the legend is that the brewer at Rogue Brewing in Newport, Oregon, took a swab of his beer and hit
his
that
beard.
from his beard with a swab, and then he scratched out a auger plate and he grew up the yeast that was on his beard, and he isolated some cells and actually brewed with it. I never got to try that beer.
Would you?
I would totally try that beer.
Would you try it? Why
I am
not?
known far and wide as I will eat anything once.
I will drink any beer ever.
Yeah. Oyster beers, I would fucking eat the shit out of that. Drink that.
What about
yeah.
that cock beer?
I'm sure I would do it once.
Damn it, man. I don't have any roosters anymore.
I have never done. I don't have like auger plates or a lab set up for culturing
would be
menus. So it would
funny,
be kind of
though.
like Ben's beer. But I did make a beer called the Bearded Weirdo once, and it won the first. It won the stainless kettle competition we used to compete in at North Sound Brewing. They put it on tap. Had my picture with a big old beard on there. And I was like, "What's the Bearded Weirdo?" I was like, "I'm the Bearded Weirdo." So that was my beer. It was a pale ale, very hop forward, double citra dry hop pale ale.
Did I vote for that?
You should have. It was fucking delicious.
Probably did.
I did. I know that. Right. That is 20 questions, man. We got through it.
We did it.
Yeah. We haven't had some filler. Maybe we'll throw those in.
We
next
didn't get
time.
through all
Do
our
some
beer.
roll.
So
we got some more beer.
We're gonna have an after. We're gonna have an after session.
Should we do
Ben
some of the,
still has 3/4 of his
should,
beer
should we
left.
do some of these bonus questions? We'll do some B-roll, some bonus content.
You're gonna have to give me some of your beer. You're gonna have to share some of that.
Share
shit.
some beer.
Either that, or I'm gonna get Ben drunk.
Yep. All right. Let's see.
Okay. Bonus questions. How do findings like Irish moss and gelatin actually work?
All right, we've got two finding agents. Irish moss is carrageenan moss. It has a potassium compound.
Those are actually two different places. You wouldn't even use them in the same place.
Right. No. So Irish moss is going to be used in the boil.
in the
The
boil,
faster
yeah.
you cool
Findings
it
are gonna
off,
use it in the-
that
in the
potassium compound
post-ferment.
reacts with a set of proteins that'll coagulate and fall out of suspension. Those
Don't even use it because I've never had a difference between when I used it or not.
So Irish moss, it's a carrageenan moss. It's a Atlantic seaboard seaweed essentially. There is a product called Whirlflock, which is genetically the same thing. It's a Pacific Coast version of the carrageenan moss.
West Coast.
West versus East. Yeah. So the Atlantic seaboard, the carrageenan moss has strict harvest controls because it's a threatened species. Whereas on the Pacific, it grows like a fucking weed. So the Whirlflock product, it's the same compound, has a little bit more potency in terms of that potassium, whatever. I can't remember what it's called. But it's got a little bit more of it by weight. So it works a little better, but they both do the same thing. You add them anywhere in your boil, and the faster you cool
What
it.
What do you do? Add a one of these tablets?
Half to one tablet in a 5-gallon batch.
Throw it in the boil?
Yeah, a lot of package
Bam.
instructions say last 15 minutes, but I've seen last 5 minutes. I've seen last 10 minutes. Technically, you can use it any point in there. As long as it's in there when you start cooling. It does not matter when you add it.
Oh.
So I don't forget. I put it in my first edition since it's the first fucking thing. I make sure it's there. Like I'm not fucking forgetting this thing because I've done that.
Good to hear.
Gelatin, however, it dissolved in solution, it will start attracting and gathering up particulates. They become heavier and fall out of suspension.
Now you're gonna put that in your keg when you keg it.
Generally,
or
the gelatin finding is a packaging step, or
you put it in your keg.
or
Now,
just
do I need
pre-packaging.
to pull off the first 6 ounces of it?
I mean, I've just poured it into my keg.
Is it gonna settle?
I poured it into my fermenter in secondary, right? Before I wanted to package. What I found with gelatin though, it also stripped out aromatics. So that Bearded Weirdo was double dry hop because after doing the gelatin fining, it didn't have the bright aroma that I wanted. So I did a second dry hop edition, and that beer won on its aroma. Like it smelled good on a tray walking through the brewery. It was fucking very aromatic, which
what you want.
automatically makes it taste good. Let's see.
See, that's it. We are done.
Got it. That's it.
Hell yeah.
We're done. That's a great show. Thanks for joining us. If you want a little bit more information, some of these talk about, check out the library. We've done shows on the IBUs and nitro beers and all these things we've talked about today.
We love questions.
Yeah. If you got more questions,
we talk the shit out of you on questions.
Hit me up on Facebook, NW Brewers.
Ben will talk your ear off
brew
on
at
questions.
NW Brewers, or give us a call, 360-293-0424.
Hey, thanks for listening.
10 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday.
We appreciate you all.
Hey, we love you guys.
We love you guys.
We'll see you. We'll talk to you next week.
Next week?
Next week we'll do another show.
Week?
We'll have to come over
We're
to another
gonna
show.
do it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We're coming up on a fucking year anniversary.
We are.
So October.
When is that?
It's in October. I don't have to look at the official date,
I know,
but
it's
this is episode like
43
42,
or
43, 44.
44. Yep.
Some dumb thing.
We got 10 more weeks. We got a month and we got a month.
Well, we won't hit 52 episodes for the year because we took some time off for like holidays and summertime and oops-a-daisical shit like that.
All right.
But it'll be good. So we're gearing up for season 2. Season 2 is coming soon,
Cheers,
man.
Ben.
Cheers.
That's awesome. We
Thanks,
love
Rob.
you all.
Peace out.
Peace out.